This year's budget, it's the Protecting Chicago budget. It acknowledges a harsh reality that I think that we all can agree on. We are living in unprecedented times. As I speak this morning about our budget, we have National Guard troops from the state of Texas that are waiting on a court order to deploy to our streets. Our federal government is in a shutdown with no end in sight. Masked men with long guns, armed vehicles, who have shot residents with no transparency and no oversight. We have ICE agents harassing Chicagoans, shooting pepper balls at faith leaders, and detaining journalists. We had Chicagoans in South Shore who were awakened in the middle of the night to the sound of Black Hawk helicopters and doors being busted down. We had a Border Patrol detain a member of our city council for simply asking to see a warrant. We had another mother screaming, pulled from her car while she was in line to pick up her children from school. One resident told the media that they put Black people in one van and immigrants in another. That gets at the core of the issue. When they come for any of us, they come for all of us. They are pitting law enforcement against law enforcement. These unaccountable federal agents have tear gassed our police officers on 2 separate occasions. The President of the United States of America called for my imprisonment along with the governor because we disagree with him. Now they are trying to militarize and occupy our city. But it's not just the boots on the ground, you all. What is even more devastating is the economic attacks. The Trump attack on our city is an economic attack on our city. The harsh reality is we're dealing with the Trump cuts. The Trump cuts to public health, the cuts to public safety, to Medicaid, to SNAP, to services that address homelessness and drug addiction, his cuts to violence prevention, his cuts to public education and transportation. This is not rhetoric, this is a reality. In fact, all of the cuts that he has declared on the city of Chicago are the very things that descendants of slaves fought for post the Civil War. Trump's budget cuts, $1 trillion from Medicaid. The Trump administration is enacting the largest cut to SNAP in our nation's history. And Trump's tariffs are driving up the cost of food. That's why we are not including the grocery tax in our budget proposal. Billions were cut from housing, from the unhoused, putting 170,000 Americans at risk of homelessness. In Chicago, we still believe that the solution to homelessness is housing. And that's why you will find an increase in funding for homelessness services and our rapid rehousing program, which has already connected thousands of Chicagoans from street encampments to long-term stable housing. $2.1 billion withheld from the Red Line extension. Now, look, I don't have to tell you all how hard the Southsiders fought for this investment. 50 years they fought for this transformative investment, and Trump just cut it without a second thought. With the expiration of ESSER funds and the funds that were withheld by Trump over our Black Student Success Plan, our public school system is losing more than $1.8 billion. That money, this money, the money that should be going to our public schools is instead going to Border Patrol and billionaires. And that's why this budget proposal includes the largest city investment in our public schools in the history of Chicago through a historic $1 billion TIF surplus. These funds will ensure that we are protecting our young people from the Trump administration's attempt to dismantle and privatize our public education system, that we are protecting special education teachers, restoring funding for our Black Student Success Plan, and making sure our lowest paid workers receive their pensions. The city will do its part while we continue to work with our partners at the state to deliver on the $1.6 billion promised of evidence-based funding for CPS. These funds will also provide additional revenue for our city colleges, our libraries, and our parks so that Chicagoans can continue to pursue their educations and enjoy our city no matter their zip code. We are making these historic investments because the Trump cuts will have, you all, real impact on the poor and working people of Chicago, and they will degrade the quality of life for all Chicagoans. And that is what we must understand more than anything else in this moment. We are all connected. We all have a shared destiny as a city. We will prosper together or we will flounder alone. As Dr. Martin Luther King warned us 60 years ago, he made this point very clear. Whatever affects one directly affects us all indirectly. As long as there is poverty in this world, no man can totally be rich, even if he has $1 billion. And here's the reality, you all. There's never been a better time to be a billionaire in America. There's never been a better time to be a large corporation in our country. It is critical, you all, that we make Chicago as easy as possible to build because it is that dynamism, that endless pursuit of innovation that keeps our city vibrant and economically strong. We are doing our part as a local government. We have built, rehabbed, and preserved more than 4,000 affordable units already, with another 1,600 under construction, almost 5,000 more units in our pipeline. We are converting our vacant office spaces downtown into affordable units and our vacant lots into owner-occupied housing, while welcoming billions in new investments from across our city. But as we develop our city, it's critical that we take steps towards the protection of our environment and continue the fight for environmental justice that started right here in Chicago. This budget delivers on the promise to rebuild the Department of Environment by expanding its staff significantly while continuing to invest in programs that reduce emissions. In this moment, we must be intentional about responding to the targeted attacks by the Trump administration against those that are most vulnerable with additional protections for our people. And for Chicagoans who are at risk of falling into homelessness, we have our first dedicated position to advocate for renters' rights and additional investments in our shelters. And for Chicagoans with disabilities, we will continue investing in our home modification program. And for our seniors, we are protecting our investments in our satellite senior centers so that our elders have access to resources and a real sense of community. And for the LGBTQ Chicagoans, we are hiring the first ever dedicated city staff to advocate for the queer community. And for our returning residents from incarceration, we are earmarking our cannabis funding to support our Office of Reentry and Job Training programs. And we will continue to build and expand on our Know Your Rights campaigns and strengthen our protections in our immigrant communities in Chicago. I want to take a moment to thank Beatrice Ponce de Leon, our Deputy Mayor for Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights. We will protect every community that is under attack in Chicago, because we are one city. And what happens to one of us, it affects all of us. Chicago is worth protecting. This is our city. We bend to no one, and we cannot be broken. I know the storms have rattled us, and people are drowning in the despair of hopelessness. But Chicago is alive, a revival is here. They chose the wrong city to pick a fight with. We are Chicago. We've been through a lot worse than this. We will come out of this, you all. We will come out stronger and more united as a city. We will be stronger than we've ever been before. I can literally see the dawn of a new day. I can see the hopes and aspirations of our ancestors that dreamed that Black, brown, and white and Asian folks from all over the city can come together united to beat back against tyranny, but also to ensure that we build a city that works for everyone, no matter what corner of the city you live in, no matter where you come from, whether you are a descendant of slaves or you are an immigrant, you belong in the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago. This is our time, Chicago. We will stand up for justice. We will put forth a budget that protects us from tyranny. I'm committed to working with you, City Council, to ensure that every single Chicagoan can live justly and can live prosperly. Thank you all. God bless you. Wow. Thank you. Chair recognizes Alderman Mitchell.
Move that we stand on recess for 20 minutes.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you for sticking around this long. Now you have a great feel of our experiences. Remember this when it is time to vote. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content. Be sure to check out other posts we have.